Guys, today we are celebrating the metaphorical birth of our new website, gemstones.com. And we thought, what better way to celebrate than to look at all of our favorite birthstones for all 12 months? Are you ready? I don't care. Let's do it. We're doing it. We're gonna unbox some Birthstone gemsties. Birthstone gemsty. Ooh, all right, we are going in calendar order. Look at these guys. We're looking at a whole spread of January's birthstone, Garnet. If you guys are only a little familiar with Garnet, you probably are expecting a lot of red, maybe even some red, and then perhaps red. I prefer it to like the red of ruby and maybe even the red of some spinel. But for those of you who are more familiar with Garnet like myself, you know that Garnet actually comes in just about every color imaginable, which brings me to this, a grossular Garnet, one of the green varieties. Garnet can also be color change. It can have cat's eye effects. I think we've got a couple little pyrope kind of Concord grape colored Garnet, but it's color change. So depending on what temperature of light you're looking at it in, it'll actually change the color that you perceive it to be. All right, let's go see what lies behind curtain number February. I can never remember the February birthstone, but I'm sure I'll get a reminder here. Oh, that's right. It's Amethyst. I would wager the most popular purple gemstone on the market. Amethyst is, of course, a variety of quartz. It's also one of the oldest gem varieties that we humans have been using in jewelry. The ancient Greeks actually believed that amethyst could be used to prevent drunkenness. I like purple. I don't think enough people talk about purple. People like blue, people like red. Why not like purple? It's just both. Amethyst is found pretty much all over the world, but I don't think that should detract from its worth as far as beauty in the eyes of the beholder. Just because it's common and available doesn't mean it's any less attractive. I like the facet job of this one because it creates a lot of glittery and sparkliness on the top. Guys, we have a lot of months in the calendar to cover, so I'm going to toss it over to Rebecca and I'll see you guys in May.
A question that we always get is, can you show more videos about our birthstones? So let's hop into this one. Let's go for our March babies. Ooh, I love this, Aquamarine. Okay, so we have a few different types of aquamarine. Okay, so all three of these groups are from the President's Collection at JTB, which are some of the finest pieces in the entire collection. Aquamarine is in the beryl family, so it's a sister or brother to things like morganite, heliodor, emerald, and aquamarine is colored by the impurity iron. It's often heat treated to create that blue color, but you can see here that aquamarine can actually have a variation of a greenish blue to a yellowish blue to even just a pure blue. Okay, so the first thing that caught my eye was the pear shape. This matched pear, this is from Brazil. It's about 26.5 carat weight total. I love the symmetry in them. I love their particular shape. And so my eye was immediately drawn to these. However, from a color perspective, my eye was immediately drawn to this set of emerald cuts. This has what I would consider to be the pure blue that a lot of people consider indicative of aquamarine. Its name is of the sea, and so you can, take your mind to the beach and relax with aquamarine. So this is our shout out to you March babies with aquamarine. So we're heading into April, you know what that means. It's also my birth month, so I have a particular sentimental attachment to this. Oh my goodness, well that is a step above the rest, better than any diamond I have. My goodness, how can you not enjoy that magnificent yellow diamond? So this is about 6 carats. Diamond is a very interesting stone. It's popular because of its supreme hardness. It's at a 10 on the Mohs scale of hardness. It also has a good amount of fire or dispersion, so that display of spectral colors you see that you love when it kind of rolls around in the light. It has supreme brilliance. Its adamantine luster is unique just to diamonds, and it shines super brightly. Diamonds can also come in brown or champagne or chocolate. They can come in yellow like this gorgeous one. They can come in pinks and some green, some blue. So you have a lot of different options if you are a a diamond baby. So there are several different causes of color in diamonds, and diamonds are kind of split into two categories. One with nitrogen impurities, and one category is without nitrogen impurities. Nitrogen impurities are actually what cause the color of most yellow diamonds, and the extent of the nitrogen content dictates the extent of the yellow content. Okay, so let's toss it to Rob and see what's in store for May.
Guys, it's May, my birth month, so of course I know what's inside this box. It's emerald. So these come out from the President's Collection, which is awesome, which explains why they look so nice. So emerald is probably the most famous green gemstone. It's part of the big three. So this is a matched pair from Zambia, beautiful, and then this is a round cut from Ethiopia. Emerald is a member of the beryl family. It's part of the hexagonal crystal system. It's often highly, highly included. I wish I had my loop here today, because this one is full of stuff. Emerald inclusions. And when you're describing the inclusions in an emerald, you refer to it as the jardin. Jardin, I'm not French. So emerald's famous green color comes from chromium or vanadium, but it can also have traces of iron. Let's bid May a good day and jump into June. We're into June, so let's jump in. I don't remember what June is. Wow, oh my gosh. So these are Tahitian pearls. Welcome to June. So pearls are one of those few types of gemstone that we refer to as organic gemstones. They are byproducts of organic processes. Pearls are produced by mollusks like mussels and clams, and a little irritant gets its way inside the shell of a clam or a mollusk. And over time, the mollusk will secrete a material called nacre that lines the inside of its shell, and it will slowly coat that irritant until what you're left with, a pearl. They used to be immensely, I mean, at one time in history, more valuable than diamond. Nowadays, that's a lot easier to do. Most pearls, like 90% of pearls on the market, maybe more, they're cultured, meaning that they're instigated by man, pearl farmers. And lastly, we have one of those non-nacreous pearls, a mellow pearl. This one is 30 carats, 30 carats. It looks like a quail egg. So it comes from like a sea snail type of creature rather than a mollusk. It's more of like a matte finish. If you want to know a little bit, actually a lot more about mellow pearls, you're in luck because we did an entire video covering them in depth. So if you'd like to watch that, click right up here. All right, I'm all pearled out. So let's toss it back to Rebecca and see what she's got in store for you guys.
Okay, we're headed into July. Ooh. Okay, so July, for all you July babies, your birthstone is ruby, which is a very valued, very popular gemstone. So rubies are actually a sort of sister to the sapphire family. It's a type of corundum, and all corundum except for red are sapphire. So yellow corundum is a yellow sapphire, blue corundum is a blue sapphire, but red corundum is not red sapphire, it's called ruby. This oval is from Tanzania. It's an untreated ruby. Most ruby on the market is heat treated, or it can be fracture filled to make the color more even or to improve the clarity of the stone. So all corundum have the chemical formula Al2O3, and so in its purest form, corundum is colorless. When you add impurities, you get all the colors of sapphire, and when you get chromium impurities, you get red or ruby. Okay, let's check out what's in August. Okay, August. Ooh. So I love Peridot. From a testing perspective, it's a really interesting gemstone because it has really unique inclusions called lily pad inclusions, which are essentially circular stress fractures. And there's a material called chromite that is often right in the middle, so it looks like a lily pad. Peridot is also very strongly doubly refractive. And so when you look into it, sometimes it can feel kind of hazy or confusing to look at, which is actually really great from an identification standpoint because it helps you know that you have a very strongly doubly refractive stone. It can be found very deep into the earth, and so diamond is really famous because it's one of the only gemstones that forms in the mantle Peridot is likewise one of those gemstones. So Peridot is what's called an idiochromatic stone, meaning that its cause of color comes from its base chemical composition and it's necessary for the base chemical composition. So Peridot is a silicate, it's a magnesium iron silicate, and it gets this gorgeous green color from the iron. So let's toss it to Rob to see what he has in store for September.
Wow, Rebecca, nice job. That was wild. But it's time for September and October. Summer is gone, it's time for September. Sapphire, very nice, very cool. Whoa, there's a big one in here. You may be familiar with only one color of sapphire, but as you can see here, sapphire can come in quite a variety of colors. Sapphire is part of the corundum family, along with ruby. Ruby is red corundum. Sapphire is everything else. Every other color of corundum is a sapphire, even up to pink. This yellow sapphire is absolutely stunning. So if you were thinking that you were stuck with only blue gems for the rest of your life, if you were born in September, you're in luck. Way more colors available to you than just blue. You've got yellow, you've got pink, you can have orange. You can even have sapphires with an effect called asterism, which is where inclusions on the inside of a stone align in such a way, or they crisscross and intersect rather in such a way, a star will appear to dance across the surface of your sapphire stone. It's color shift star sapphire. You're kidding me. It's a 2-in-1? I must be awake because September has ended. It's time for spooky season. Let's get into October. Let's get spooky. This is an opal. It is a huge opal. It is an Ethiopian opal. I was going to mention, so most of the world's opal comes from Australia. It's the national gemstone of Australia. However, Ethiopia is also making a name for itself as far as opal production, and you can see why. The play of color on it is just stunning. That's what makes opal, in my opinion, maybe the most beautiful. In my eyes, it's the most valuable gemstone. I cannot believe that any circumstance in nature could create something this stunning. Opal is made of silica, little spheres of silica in differing sizes, stacked upon each other in varying orientations. These spheres interact with the light in such a way, no beam of light really enters and exits the same as the beam next to it. So the result is a lot of light splitting and a lot of different colors, individual colors being sent to your eyes. White light goes in and a rainbow of colors comes out and hits your eye. All right, we got one more specimen here. Wow, this thing is enormous as well. So this has a slightly less than white body color. And so while we saw a bunch of greens and blues on the surface of this opal, this one has a little bit yellower body color and predominantly red and orange, a real fiery play of color. I love the patchiness of color in this specimen, but I do love just how fiery and all over the color is in this one. All right, Rebecca, I'm gonna toss it to you to round out the year.
Oh my gosh, 2 boxes for November. Ooh, I love these stones. This is Imperial Topaz, the birthstone for November. So Topaz is a fluorosilicate of aluminum with hydroxyl. Its ingredients actually are pretty unique for the gem world, and so it has some very interesting, unique properties in terms of its formation. So citrine is another birthstone for November. So a lot of people think of citrine as yellow, but actually this yellowish orange is an acceptable color to be considered citrine. And this one, I think this is such a pretty deep golden color. It does have these patches of color. If I had to choose one of these for a piece of jewelry, I would actually choose the citrine just because it has that depth of color to it that isn't quite as apparent in these Imperial Topazes. Although Imperial Topaz can have a very, very rich orange color. These have a little bit of a peach hue to it. Fun fact about Topaz is it takes such a high polish that some consider it to be somewhat slippery to the touch. So I'm actually gonna put it down because I actually can feel that. It's not quick to stay in your hands. So I absolutely love this. I love this golden jewel tone color. Citrine, of course, is a type of quartz, so its abundance is irrelevant because it's something that anyone can enjoy. So I love November, but let's head to the end of the calendar year to December. Last one, December. I know my calendar. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so December is kind of interesting because December has a lot of different birthstones. So today we're just gonna focus on one, and that is blue topaz. So like we said, for November, Imperial topaz is for the November babies, but blue topaz is for the December babies, which I actually find quite fitting because it has this icy blue color that makes me feel kind of like an icy winter. So the cause of color for blue topaz. So most blue topaz is treated. A lot of colorless topaz comes from irradiated brown topaz. So a lot of the topaz that we get out of the ground is brown. Then it's irradiated to have this colorless look, and then it's heat treated to form this blue. It's a very deep, almost greenish blue, almost tealish topaz. Interestingly, the color of topaz is not always stable. So you have to make sure that you take proper care, don't keep it in direct sunlight for too long, and make sure to read up on all the different ways that you need to care for your topaz. Okay guys, thanks for walking through the calendar year, through all the birthstones. You guys ask about birthstones all the time, so we wanted to give you a brief overview of all the birthstones that we know everyone loves and enjoys. But if you want to learn more, we have tons of videos where we go way in depth about all these different topics, so head to the channel and check out more of those. You can also go to our new website, gemstones.com. There's so much gem information there, it will blow your mind, so make sure to check that out. Okay, so head down to the comments and tell us what your birthstone is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thanks for watching.